and my partner is called Tatiana Alfonso. So, today we are going to explain about our project, our proposal. So, we provided a name. We are going to tell you first of all what is it about, and it is called Developing Cultural Competence and Critical Thinking Through Reading Skill. Okay, so basically we're going to describe the objectives that we create for this proposal. So the first one is to enable the students to discover their own knowledge, meanings and behaviors in their own culture by local readings. The second one is to compare their own culture with another one by reading texts from different countries in order to identify cultural differences as rules, knowledge, norms and beliefs. The third one is to enable the students to understand and accept people from other cultures. The fourth one is to enable the students to be aware of cultural differences. The fifth one is to present language in a real context in order to provide meaning to their cultural comprehension. The sixth one is to encourage students' cultural competence in order to communicate effectively and appropriate with people from other cultures. The seventh one is to strengthen students' critical thinking by providing them real context situations where they can think rationally and be critical. And the last one, eighth, is to foster students' reading habits by providing them the opportunity to select their reading preferences.
We, as language teachers, have recognized across the development of our classes and according to the experience that we have, that teaching a language doesn't include only grammar and phonetics and all what is related to the language level. It is also related to understanding the culture where the language is spoken. So we can recognize that nowadays there is a lack of this culture when teaching a language, and it is very important because it helps the students to acquire language competence in order to communicate effectively and to ensure a shared understanding by people of different social identities. So our proposal is related to this topic because language competence is one of the most important elements when talking about teaching a language. Another concept that we want to develop through this proposal is critical thinking, especially because we think that this skill is essential when solving problems in intercultural communication. And as a third aspect, what we want to focus is on readings, because we want to foster reading habits so they can just select what they want to read in order to propose an environment where they can critically think and they can recognize cultural truth. Our intention creating this proposal is basically because we want to change the perception of teaching a second language as something linear, where grammar and vocabulary are the main foundations of it. Instead, we want to propose something more dynamic and active. Salbert says, if language is a social practice of meaning making and interpretation, then it is not enough for language learners just to know grammar and vocabulary. So basically, and according to this statement, language is a social practice, and for this reason it is not possible to teach a language by only books and exercises. It is necessary to include the real context of the language. So we as teachers have to keep in mind that a language is the verbal description of society, and in order to assist our students to acquire the language, we have to begin from there. Also, when we say that language is a representation of society, also we are bringing up the concept of culture as the common characteristics to the members of a particular group of society.
In Traditional methods don't respond to student needs. They just want to cover topics, teach grammar without helping a student to understand and use the language in real context. So, when we want to verify the result and the impact of these methods, we can realize that the students feel frustrated, especially because they have studied many structures but they don't have any idea how to write. So this is why we want to include culture, because it's gonna give you a reference or exactly what they learn.
This proposal is going to be divided into 8 stages. So the first one is called the pre-reading, and we are going to show the importance of reading and the rights of the reader. The main objective is to encourage students to have reading habits and to raise awareness of its importance in the professional life. The time that we expect to take is 2 hours, and basically the procedure is going to begin by asking to students some questions about reading habits, such as how often do you read, do you have reading habits, do you think that reading is important, and how many books have they read last year. After that, we are going to play a video which talks about the importance of reading. Students will be divided into 5 groups, and each group should select 2 reasons of the video to present them in front of the class. At the end, teacher will explain the rights of the reader by Daniel Pinas using a poster. Second, platform introduction. Objective: to present the platform and give general information about its use. Time: 2 hours. Learners will explore the website in order to know how to use it. The website is going to be Gluckster. Students will find in the platform a list of books from USA and UK, and they will select one based on their own preferences to work in the rest of the classes. Third, our own culture. What do I know about Colombia? The main objective is to recognize cultural aspects from their own culture through readings. The time that we expect for this activity is 2 hours. The procedure: a teacher will post on Gluckster some readings from a Colombian writer called Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and a student will select one of them in order to analyze it. A teacher will present principal aspects of culture from one of the readings. 4. Use of language. Learning new expressions. The objective is to learn new vocabulary and expressions. Students will have different tools in order to look for verbs, phrases, and all the vocabulary that they do not understand from the readings that they were working before. Fifth, comparison. Objective: to compare their own culture with the foreign culture through the reading they select to find principal aspects of culture. Time: 5 hours. Procedure: after reading, students will select 2 of the next aspects of culture in order to develop the comparison: beliefs, role of the family, the stereotypes, values, perceptions about education, and society priorities. Students will select quotations from the readings, and they will create a poster in Gluckster using images and those quotations. 6. Post-reading activities. What did I learn? Objective: to create a conclusion using critical thinking and the knowledge they learn about culture and its importance when learning a language. Time: 5 hours. Students will share their posters with their partners, and they will create their own opinion based on the knowledge they acquire through the activity. After creating this, they will answer some questions about the opinion. Some examples are: how did you reach that conclusion? How am I looking at this situation? Is there another way to look at it that I should consider?